Hello, this is David from DN Cognitive Counseling. I'm going to start this video tonight by talking about the fact that I have no invested interest in pharmaceutical companies from a financial standpoint. What I mean by that is I don't get any money from any pharmaceutical companies, and I'm going to be discussing something from a more personal nature. There's a lot of talk today about blaming pharmaceutical companies for a lot of issues that people have, particularly when it comes to the opiate epidemic. And there's definitely a good case to be made by certain practices that were, shall we say, questionable, and certain things that were done that were, you can absolutely have issues with. But the problem is that we have a broad brush that gets stroked, that a lot of people do not recognize the dangers and the problems with going after pharmaceutical companies in the manner by which a lot of people get demonized. We're now living through a tremendous epidemic, and the places that we keep looking for answers are generally pharmaceutical companies. We want a vaccine. We want something that will help to protect us. The reality is, going back to my grandmother's age, there was not a family that didn't lose a child during that time period when she was growing up. Infant mortality was something that was expected. You would have 6 or 7 kids in a family because you didn't expect most of them to survive, or all of them, not most. You didn't expect all of them to survive. Today's day and age, that's not the case. And it's a large part that is due to what we have in terms of the big pharmaceutical companies that created a lot of things that help protect us. We have extended life. We have new techniques and new things that give us the ability to do things that we never even dreamed of. I am a huge fan of research for big pharmaceutical companies, and it comes from a very personal nature. Many years ago, when I first got into the field, I had a colleague who also became a mentor and friend. And sadly, he had a lifestyle before becoming a therapist where he was involved in substance abuse, and he contracted hepatitis C. And there was no cure at that point. And sadly, he died. 10 years after his death, they came up with a cure. And sure enough, I've had 15 people that I've worked with that have been cured from hepatitis C. And it gives me great joy and happiness that these people have been cured. But I would have been much happier had they done it 10 years earlier. I don't want to see more people lost or dead because of the fact that we demonize companies, have huge lawsuits that now make these companies have an inability to do the research and the energy spent to come up with new things, to come up with new cures, to come up with new medications. We have some amazing medications that deal with depression and anxiety, things that we didn't have 5 and 6 years ago. But guess what? It's all not perfect yet. There's new things in development that aren't here yet, but it takes research to do that, to get it through FDA, to get approval. I would love to see anybody that suffers from depression be able to be helped through the ability for medications or tremendous anxieties. Many of the medications for anxiety are addictive. It would be great if we can come up with better medications that had less addictive qualities, but yet also did the same things for those people that need that. The only way that happens is with research. The only people going to be spending money for research are people that can make a profit. Destroy the profit margins and watch what happens. Take a look at all the new medications in which countries they're developed in. Why isn't everybody developing them at the same rate? Why don't we see tremendous innovation in terms of medications from Canada? Why aren't we seeing France and England? And I know that in Germany and in Israel there are innovations that come out, but it's nothing compared to what comes out of this country. The ability to be able to profit off of the pharmaceuticals gives them the same ability to do much more funding and research. I believe that that cost is very much worth it. The amount of lives saved is tremendous. And I would really love to see that people had more appreciation for what those companies actually have done. And I'm glad that sometimes they can make something from it. It is true when we see malpractice or something of malfeasance or something that was hidden as to not tell people, yes, people have to be held accountable. But don't throw out the baby with the bathwater. And too many times that's what we do. We demonize on a level that is just not appropriate. And now we're in a situation where we're looking to which company is going to come out with this miracle drug that's going to help us to be able to become immune so that we have less death. And from my standpoint, I'd like to see that happen as soon as possible. I hope that you share that thought process. If you don't, I would love to hear why. And please comment below. If you disagree with anything I said in this video, I'd love to hear it. And again, if you like the video, hit like. If you'd like to subscribe to the channel, please do that. And of course, share this with anybody else that you may have had this kind of conversation and it may be a new way of thinking about it. I have people in my family right now that the only reason why they're alive is because of pharmaceuticals that are around today. And if we lost that ability, they would not be here. And the other aspect is, I have people in my family who have other issues that the pharmaceuticals keep them alive, but not well. And if they can come up with other things, it might make their life a lot better. And I keep hoping that will happen. So again, I thank you very much, and good mental health.